So there's 4 things that we like to be prepared for a disaster. And those 4 things are have a plan, make a kit, stay informed, and get involved. And so as we talk about each of those 4 things, one of the most important things you can do is have a plan. We saw in the fall of 2018, the tornadoes that touched down here in the county, it happened at a really inopportune time. It happened when school buses were out on the roads, it was the end of the workday, and so that was the perfect opportunity to go back to your families and say, you know what, maybe it impacted us or maybe it didn't, but what would we do if our normal course of action was really different because a disaster happened? Who would pick you up from school if it needed to be somewhere different? And do we have the right forms in place for a neighbor to pick you up if we needed that to happen?
Where's the family going to go? If you have to separate, what's going to be the plan there? Or if you are separated, during a disaster, is there an outside point of contact? You may not be able to talk to each other very easily. Sometimes you may be able to text a relative or somebody out of the area. So who are you going to contact?
Where would we go if we need to evacuate? If we need to immediately evacuate, especially if we have family members who have some extra considerations, if they have a wheelchair or if they need extra medication, that we have pre-planned and we've made a list, a checklist that we can easily know where those things are located and be able to grab them so we can get out quickly. If you have a medical need and you know that you have an appointment that you need to get to and the weather may be poor, make sure that you have a plan in place that you know someone with reliable transportation in bad weather can come pick you up to get you to that appointment. And also, if you have an elderly parent, make sure that you have a plan to check in on them.
The plan is great, but you got to make sure that everyone understands the plan and understands how to actually execute the plan.
So that's why it is imperative that we put our plans into place and that we talk about them ahead of time, because we don't want to become a bigger part of the disaster.
We talk about practicing our plan, and people get this vision that it has to be some complicated exercise at home with the kids that they're going to have a hard time getting buy-in. It doesn't need to be that complicated. It can be as simple as taking 10 or 15 minutes and sitting down with everyone in the family.
One of the other things that we want to consider when you're thinking of what disasters could happen is what kind of insurance do you have for your home? Make sure that you understand what your insurance policy covers and what it doesn't cover. So while you're walking through the steps of how to be safe, make sure that you go through your home and videotape all of your contents. Just take your iPhone, walk through your home, so if a disaster did happen, you at least have a record that you can show the insurance adjuster of this is what my home looked like before, and this is what I'm trying to get it to go back to.
And then once you have all this in place, is you really act. I mean, don't wait too late to actually start making decisions. And then when it's time, put those plans into place.